This is take one of this thing, Mark. So, I like to analyze things in life and give them a kind of meaning. I do it with a lot of things, And some people, most people, might describe this with one word, and it being overthinking. Now, what I say to that is, you're right. You're probably right. I think it is, but that's not the point. But it is related to what I wanted to talk about, and it's how I like to relate our lives to a movie script, to a screenplay. In the beginning of the screenplay, you've got Act 1. Now, in this Act 1, the first thing that goes on is the opening world. We're introduced to our surroundings, the setting, how things are in the world, your characters, your friends, your family, and obviously, most importantly, you, the protagonist. Now, in some point in your life, you will encounter the inciting incident of your story. Now, the inciting incident is something that happens to you that gives you a glimpse in a totally unknown world that you are scared to step into, but you are curious. As you keep going along in your screenplay, this curiosity just becomes overwhelming, and you take on a dilemma. Do you remain in your comfort zone, or do you step up onto the plate and tackle on this new unknown world? This dilemma is plot point 1. Now, I think I recently gone through this plot point 1 in my life, and this plot point 1 is where I make an active decision in becoming a content creator, in becoming an entertainer, or I guess an influencer, if you will. Then that's the end of Act 1. In the beginning of Act 2, pretty much becomes your trials and tribulations stage, where a lot of things start to make yourself question whether or not this was a good idea or not. Things will become a little bit more difficult. Obstacles will start to come at you in faster succession, but you have to carry on and you have to stay strong. That's where I am right now with my decision in trying to become an influencer / content creator. I'm kind of at that stage where it's a little bit hard to decide whether or not I should keep going. This is called in the screenplay, or I like to call it, the pinch point, and this is your first pinch point. Now, I don't know what's going to happen next in my little screenplay of a life, but one thing's for sure: what's up next is everything leading up to a midpoint where I either keep going, but if I do keep going, there's no turning back. I dedicate my entire, life to this craft, I suppose. Or I turn back and go back to my comfort zone where I know there is safety and security. Maybe some of you guys are in this midpoint right now. It's another dilemma. It's a huge dilemma. This midpoint is typically in the middle of the story, and it must be made. This decision must be made. If you do decide to continue on, you start to run into even more difficult obstacles. Maybe the enemy, whatever that may be, the enemy, starts to come at you even more so than before. And this all leads up to a second pinch point, usually a huger problem that you must face in order to get over to the other side. I don't know what that is. I don't know what the midpoint is in my life, and I don't know what the pinch point 2 is in my life, which is what we're describing right now. It's scary, but nevertheless, there's something even more scary, and that is the all is lost moment. And the all is lost moment is when it just doesn't look like you're gonna win. It doesn't look like you're gonna make it out alive. Take that as you will. Maybe you just plain out have given up in whatever you're trying to pursue. And in this moment, you sort of think about what the hell you're doing. And you have to kind of reset your mind and just think about everything that had just happened. Although you're in rock bottom at this point, the only way from bottom is up, right? We've all heard about that. The only direction you can go in rock bottom is up. So in the depths and the mist and the fog of this rock bottom, there will be a spotlight that will be shone upon you. And this spotlight is going to be the epiphany of who you are and your ticket upward. It's going to be a big moment for you, a big realization. And this realization is going to lead you up to plot point 2, which is the end of Act 2. Just like plot point 1, you are making another, and hopefully your final, active decision in what you want to do. You make the decision to carry on and face the antagonist, the enemy, whatever that may be in your life and whatever that may be in my life. You are now ready to face it. Now, immediately in the beginning of Act 3, right after the end of Act 2, is the climax. This is where you face on the antagonist, whatever it might be, head on. This is the moment that is a make or break in terms of whether you win or you lose. But the thing is about that is it doesn't matter whether you win or lose, because you've been through hell, the rock bottom. You've had this epiphany of who you are. You've resolved your internal conflict, this fear inside you that's preventing you from getting what you want, and you've realized what you really need. And the thing is, sometimes this thing that you need isn't always what you're going to get in the climax. But you're committed. You're committed. So it doesn't matter whether you win or lose in the climax. What matters is that you know who you are. And after that moment, you get to go home. And by getting to go home, you get to finally relax and live the life you want to live. This is your resolution. You're back all the way to square one, but you're a different person. And you're wiser, you're more clever, you're smarter. So, having said all that, again, I am only at my pinch point 1. That's what I think. That's where I think I am. You might be somewhere else. You might still be approaching your inciting incident where something happens to you that gives you a glimpse in this new world. You may be making your first decision, your first plot point 1 decision. You may be in your midpoint where you have to either go back to your safety zone, your comfort zone, or you double down and tell yourself that there's no turning back and that this is what needs to be done now. whatever it may be, just know that the obstacles are not going to be easy. But they always will be defeated.